the underground poker room fell silent. Only two players remained, Tatsuya and the woman who had crushed every challenger all night.
Flush on the board. My full house feels heavy, but a straight flush beats everything. She's been unreadable all night. If she holds the cards, I fear, this ends, but I can't fold now.
Tatsuya pushed his entire stack forward. All in, the crowd held its breath as Reina stared at her cards.
Still no emotion. She's going to call. I can feel it. This is the end.
Without a word, Reina slid her cards face down across the green felt, a fold.
She folded with that hand? That's impossible. She had to have me crushed.
You did it, Tatsuya. My house favorite never disappoints. What a victory.
I didn't come here to win.
What did she just say? Why would she throw the tournament at the final hand?
Tatsuya slipped out a side door, the briefcase heavy in his hand. In the alley, Reina was already waiting.
You folded a winning hand. Why? What's your real game here?
I needed to reach the final table. Kuroda runs these underground games. I've been trying to get close to him for years.
Kuroda? He's just a poker organizer. What do you want with him?
He's a loan shark. He drove my father into ruin with predatory contracts, then ruined dozens of others. The final table is the only room with access to his private office without drawing suspicion. I had to make it there. I studied the registrants. You were the most consistent player. I threw the game so he'd be distracted celebrating you.
The same pattern. The same trap. But I can't think about that now. Not here.
Tatsuya's pulse hammered against his ribs. A name he had buried rose up, and he crushed it down before it could reach his tongue.
I need your help, Tatsuya. While he's busy congratulating you, I can slip into his office. Will you cover me?
Another family, crushed by Kuroda. The exact same pattern as mine. This isn't a coincidence.
A memory surfaced. Tatsuya's father, defeated and broken, staring at a foreclosure notice on their family shop. The same predatory voice on the phone. The same impossible interest rates. Everything he had buried roared back.
I am in. Tell me what you need.
Good. Take this burner phone. I'll text you when it's time. We move at midnight. Keep Kuroda occupied. Celebrate, laugh, be the winner he expects. I'll handle the office.
She thinks this is just her revenge. But I have my own reasons. This man destroyed my father too.
They swapped numbers, and Reina melted back into the shadows of the alley without another word.
Midnight. I'll finally get a chance to uncover what Kuroda did to my father. He's going to pay.
He slipped the burner phone into his pocket and turned back toward the building, the weight of his secret pressing against his ribs. The heavy door swung open, and Tatsuya stepped back into the haze of victory and cheap champagne. Kuroda was already raising a glass.
To our champion. Steady hands and nerves of steel. Exactly what this game rewards. Enjoy your winnings, Tatsuya.
Kuroda pressed the briefcase into Tatsuya's hands with an oily grin. The prize money felt like a shackle.
Keep smiling. Laugh at his jokes. Meanwhile, she's already moving. Play the part a little longer.
Across the room, a shadow detached from the wall. Reina slipped through the side door without a single glance back. Hours later, alone in his cramped apartment, Tatsuya stared at a faded photograph. His father's eyes held the same question they'd left him with years ago.
You never got justice, but I can still get the truth. Tonight, I'll find out exactly what Kuroda did.
His burner phone lit up with a single line, midnight, back entrance.
It's time. No more waiting. Keep the lie alive. Get the evidence and make him pay for what he did.
He slipped a small folding knife into his jacket pocket and killed the lights. Outside, the city waited in silence. The back entrance was swallowed in darkness. Reina stood under the weak glow of a street lamp, her breath a thin fog.
You came. Good. We have 10 minutes before the guard rotation. Follow my lead. The cameras rotate on a 30-second loop. Stick to the shadows and don't make a sound.
They crept through dim corridors, flattening against the walls whenever a red light swept near. The building was a silent trap. At the office door, Raina produced a stolen keycard and slid it through the reader with a steady hand.
The keycard's been deactivated. He must have changed the access codes after the tournament. We're locked out.
We can't just stand here. There's got to be another entrance. Air ducts. Windows. Something.
A door banged open somewhere upstairs, and heavy boots started down the stairwell. A guard was making his rounds.
The maintenance vent leads straight to the office ductwork. We can pry it open from here.
I see it. Help me with the screws. Hurry.
With a final tug, the vent grate came free. They crawled into the narrow duct, darkness swallowing them whole.
Stay low and quiet. The duct runs directly above his office. We'll hear everything.
The dust is choking. Every breath feels like sandpaper. Just keep moving.
Voices leaked through the metal vent up ahead. Kuroda's smug tone was unmistakable.
The interest compounds weekly. These fools sign anything when they're desperate. They'll be paying me for life.
Tatsuya's hand shook as he opened the recording app. The waveform pulsed, capturing every word.
A few more like the Nakamura deal and I'll own half the district. Stupid old men and their failing businesses.
The office door slammed, and the heavy thud of Kuroda's footsteps faded into silence.
He's gone. This is our window. Let's drop into the office now.
They slid out of the vent into the darkened office. The scent of leather and cigar smoke thick in the air. Raina moved straight to the heavy safe in the corner. Her hands found the dial without hesitation.
I memorized the combination from a leak 6 months ago. Keep watch, this won't take long.
The lock surrendered with a heavy clunk. Inside, stacks of folders bulged with handwritten debt records and stamped contracts.
Here, my father's file. And dozens more. All victims of the same trap.
This name. It's my father. He kept a file on him too.
When I saw your name on the registry, I recognized it. I took a chance that you were hunting him too.
Kuroda ruined my family exactly the same way. I've been carrying that debt for years.
Then we finished this together. No more secrets between us.
They shared a look of grim understanding across the open safe. Two strangers bound by an identical wound. Together, they pulled every damning folder from the safe and shoved them into a satchel, ready to flee into the night. The office lights snapped on, blinding them. Kuroda stood in the doorway, flanked by two hulking guards.
You thought I wouldn't notice a copied keycard? I let you in to see what you'd do.
He plucked the satchel from Reina's hands and tossed it onto the desk like a trophy.
All these years of plotting, and you hand me the proof I need to bury you both.
Kuroda's eyes narrowed on Tatsuya's pocket, the outline of a phone visible. He reached out and took it.
A recording. How cute. Too bad this building blocks every signal. Nothing you captured leaves here.
He crushed the phone under his heel, shattering the screen and scattering components across the floor.
Take these two to the storage room. Tie them up. I'll decide what to do with them later.
They were dragged to a cold room and bound tightly to wooden chairs, helpless under the single hanging bulb.
This can't end here. I promised my father. There has to be a way out.
You fools thought you could touch me? This city is my board, and you are just pieces I sweep away.
My father's last words were asking why the bank took everything. He never understood it was Kuroda.
Mine kept apologizing, as if it was his fault for being too hopeful. We both owe them a debt. I've got a knife in my sleeve. I can cut us loose. Just keep quiet while I work.
With slow, desperate pulls, the blade frayed the rope. One strand at a time, the bonds parted. Tatsuya freed his own hands. then stumbled to Reina and sliced through her ropes in seconds.
I hear him moving away. Now's our chance to get out of this room before he comes back.
They wedged a chair leg into the door frame and forced it open. The old wood groaning in protest, they slipped into the dark corridor, hugging the wall. Somewhere in the distance, heavy boots echoed.
Not out yet. But every step is closer to making that monster pay.
Heavy boots clomped past their hiding spot, a shallow alcove behind a pillar. Reina pulled Tatsuya deeper into the shadows.
Weeks ago, I planted a camera in his office. I never told you because I wasn't sure you'd follow through.
A backup. She had a backup all along. There's still a chance.
They retraced their steps, slipping past locked doors and dormant alarm panels until they reached the office once more. The office was dark and silent. Kuroda had not yet returned. Reina went straight to the bookshelf.
The camera's taped behind the third shelf. I can reach it.
Her fingers found a tiny SD card sealed in a plastic bag. She held it up like a winning hand.
It recorded everything. Deals, threats, his whole operation. This is what we came for.
That card is our ticket. We just need to get it to the right hands. We have the evidence. Now, we just have to live long enough to use it.
A pinpoint of flashlight beam swept the corner ahead. The guard stepped into view, his hand already reaching for his radio.
Run, Reina. Get that card out of here.
Tatsuya lunged forward, crashing his shoulder into the guard's chest with all his weight. They both slammed to the floor. Reina's feet refused to move. Her eyes locked with Tatsuya's as he struggled on the floor.
Go. I'll hold them. Just go.
She turned and sprinted, her footsteps echoing down the dark corridor. The SD card was clutched tightly to her racing heart. 2 more guards appeared from the stairwell, batons already raised. They pinned Tatsuya's arms and pressed his face into the cold floor.
She got away. That's all that matters.
They hauled Tatsuya upright, his mouth tasting iron, and dragged him roughly through the halls toward Kuroda's office. A thin trail of blood followed.
Endure. Just endure. Reina will get justice.
Reina burst through the side exit and collapsed against the rough brick of the alley, gasping. The SD card was still in her trembling hand.
No time to hesitate. I have to get this out right now before Kuroda's men find me.
She opened the anonymous tip portal and attached the video file, then sent a duplicate to the one journalist she trusted. A confirmation email blinked on her screen. Evidence received. Police dispatch authorized.
I did it. The truth is out. But Tatsuya is still in there. I can't let him die.
She stared at the dark silhouette of the building, the light in Kuroda's office window, burning like a threat.
I am coming back, Tatsuya. Just hold on a little longer.
She pushed off the wall and sprinted toward the same door they had entered just hours ago. In the distance, the first wail of police sirens cut through the night. Help was on its way, but it might already be too late.
I have to find him before Kuroda does something irreversible.
The guards threw Tatsuya to the floor and locked the door. Kuroda was already pulling a sleek pistol from his drawer without a moment's hesitation.
He's losing control. That's the only advantage I have left. Don't show him any fear.
You've ruined everything. My entire empire. Do you know what you've cost me? Years of work, gone. I'll put a bullet in your skull and disappear. I'm untouchable. No one can stop me.
Untouchable? The video is already online. By now, the police are on their way. You are finished, Kuroda.
Kuroda's mask of control finally cracked. His face contorted with fury, and he jammed the gun barrel against Tatsuya's forehead.
So, this is how it ends. At least I am facing him head-on. My father never got this chance. He had to hide.
Tatsuya closed his eyes. In the darkness, his father's face appeared not broken, but proud, as if saying he'd done enough.
Any last words, hero? Or should I just paint the walls red and be done with it?
I am sorry, Dad. I did everything I could. I hope it was enough to bring him down.
A deafening boom shook the walls as a flashbang detonated outside the door. The room exploded with blinding light. Kuroda flinched, his shot going wide and burying itself in the plaster wall. Tatsuya didn't hesitate. He launched himself forward, driving his shoulder into Kuroda's chest. They crashed into the desk, the piano finish splintering under their weight. The gun skittered away.
This is for the decades of suffering you caused, for every family you destroyed.
His fist connected with a sickening crack. Kuroda's head snapped back, his smug expression shattering. The office door splintered open. Tactical officers flooded in, red lasers slicing through the dust. Tatsuya released his grip, stumbling backward against the wall. His chest heaving, an officer pinned Kuroda to the floor, snapping handcuffs onto his wrists. The lone shark was beaten.
We did it, Dad. He's finished.
Reina pushed past the last investigator, her heart pounding until she saw Tatsuya slumped against the wall.
Tatsuya, you are alive. I thought I'd lost you for good.
I am too stubborn to die. But I am glad you came back.
Their arms locked around each other in a desperate embrace, the chaos of the room fading to nothing. Nearby, Kuroda was hauled to his feet, his hands cuffed, his face a mask of silent fury. A detective stepped forward, holding the SD card sealed in an evidence bag. "This is yours?"
Yes, that's everything. It's all there. The threats, the bribes, the fraud.
The detective nodded. "Good work. This will bury him." Behind them, officers cataloged the open safe, each folder a testament to Kuroda's cruelty and the families he broke. They walked out of the building into the gray dawn, the sirens still wailing, but the danger past. By the time the sun rose, the story was on every screen. Kuroda's arrest had shattered the silence. His grinning mugshot was everywhere, next to the footage that had brought him down. Later, a news anchor solemnly recited the names of his victims. 2 of them cut through the air like a knife, the fathers they had both lost.
My father. They said my father's name. The shame that hung over our family. It's finally lifted.
My father, too. They can't hurt him anymore. He can finally rest.
Reina's phone buzzed. A prosecutor confirmed all charges against her father had been formally expunged.
Thank you. I've waited so long to hear those words.
That afternoon, they sat in a corner cafe, no more walls between them.
We were chasing the same ghost, and I never knew. I should have trusted you from the start.
You trusted me when it counted. That's all that matters.
Weeks passed, and the world moved on. Tatsuya's apartment became a place where silence felt comfortable instead of empty.
There's something I want to show you. I've been holding on to it since the tournament.
On the wall hung a shadow box. 5 cards face down, the exact hand she had surrendered that night.
You kept them. All this time, and you never said a word.
That hand changed everything. When you folded, you took a risk on me. You trusted me with your life's work. I wanted to remember that trust. Every day.
I didn't know I was capable of that kind of trust until I met you.
She turned, and before another word could be spoken, Tatsuya closed the distance. Their lips met with a certainty that left no room for doubt. Above them, the framed cards caught the lamplight, a reminder that sometimes a losing hand becomes the foundation of a winning life. In that small apartment, 2 broken families finally began to mend into one. Reina reached into her bag and pulled out a flat, wrapped box, tied with a simple ribbon.
You are not the only one who kept something. Open it.
Tatsuya peeled back the paper. Inside was a polished frame holding a legal document stamped with red seals.
This is your father's acquittal. The original. You kept it all these years.
I can finally look at his photo without shame. He's at peace now. We both can be.
Then, let's put them together. Our fathers deserve to be side by side.
He set the document next to the shadow box. 2 artifacts from 2 shattered families, now whole. A small photograph of Reina's father stood beside a worn one of Tetsuya's father. The silent witnesses to their children's triumph. They stood in the soft light, Reina's head resting on Tetsuya's shoulder. No more words were needed. The weight they'd carried since childhood had finally lifted, leaving only the quiet certainty that they'd kept their promise. The old cemetery sat on a hill where the wind always blew. Tetsuya and Reina walked together, bouquets in hand.
Dad, we found him. Kuroda will never hurt another family. You can rest now.
He touched the engraved name, a gesture he'd never been able to make without anger. Now, his hand was steady.
Father, your name is clear. I brought the proof. No one can whisper about us ever again.
She set a small stone on the marker, an old tradition, and let her tears fall freely into the earth. They met at the center path, and without a word, they bent down and laid the bouquets together.
Tatsuya, thank you. My father would say the debt is paid in full.
It is. For both of us.
They bowed once, deeply to the graves of the 2 men who had raised them, and then turned toward the path leading home. The wind followed them, but the weight was gone. The only thing left was the road ahead. The gavel struck once, sharp and final. Kuroda was sentenced to decades behind bars, his empire reduced to rubble. The news anchors called it the largest loan sharking takedown in a decade. His victims were finally heard. The underground poker room was sealed with police tape. The tables sat in darkness, the games finally over. Every document recovered from the safe became a key that unlocked a new start for the families he had broken. On a bright morning, Tatsuya's father's old shop reopened. The sign above the door had been repainted by hand.
My father poured his soul into this place. Now, it gets a second life, just like us. Just like us.
I am happy I get to see it. Your father's legacy deserved to be remembered.
It's our legacy now.
2 shattered families had been made whole. The wounds would always scar, but never bleed again. In the end, it wasn't about the cards. It was about who they chose to play them with. The cherry blossoms had started to fall that evening. Tatsuya and Reina walked the park path without a destination in mind.
You know, if we ever played poker again, I'd still read you like an open book.
Good thing you are on my side now. I'd hate to lose another championship to a folded hand.
She laughed, her crimson eyes catching the lantern light. The framed cards hung in his apartment, but the memory felt lighter out here.
I meant what I said. That trust you gave me, I want to earn it every day.
Then let's start small. There's a movie I want to see this weekend, and I am craving that ramen place near your shop.
Deal. Saturday, then. No high stakes, no secret missions. Just us.
They turned a corner, the path opening to a view of the city lights below. For a moment, the world felt simple.
I never thought I'd have this, a normal life. Someone to share it with.
Neither did I. But here we are.
In their home, the shadow box hung on the wall, a quiet witness to everything that had changed. Beside it, the framed acquittal gleamed under the same soft light, 2 keepsakes from a war they had won. The photographs of their fathers stood watch, silent and proud. Outside, the sun broke through as they walked hand in hand along the river path. They didn't need to speak. The sound of their footsteps was enough. Behind them, the city hummed, but the weight they'd carried was no longer theirs. Sometimes the smartest play isn't going all in. It's knowing when to fold and who to trust with the rest of the hand. They disappeared into the golden afternoon, 2 opponents who became something far greater. 2 broken families mended into one. A new beginning, written not in cards, but in trust.